Thanks for joining, everybody. Welcome to Minting Coins, your source for Bitcoin and blockchain news, interviews, and ICO reviews. If you're new or not, hit that like button and leave your comments in the chat box below. In this live stream, we're going to be going over some really cool information. We're going to be talking about Bitcoin. We're going to be talking about Bitcoin futures. We're going to be talking about what this means in terms of its relationship to mainstream adoption, and how that's connected with what we talked about in yesterday's live stream, which is Metcalfe's law. And so that's going to be really interesting for us to see how that increase in user relationship is going to be growing, how this increase in Bitcoin futures is going to be affecting Bitcoin, is going to be affecting all the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency blockchain industry. With that being said, let's pop into the chat, let's look into the market, take a peek at the news, and let's discuss. Before we get into the market, has anyone here seen Saturday Night Live the night before?
People in America are good people, and eventually good people will fix our country.
Okay, good. But just in case, I'm putting all my money in Bitcoin.
So that was Saturday Night Live just 2 days ago, giving a shout out to Bitcoin in the opening scene of Saturday Night Live. And so I thought that they gave a shout out to Bitcoin. I was really excited that someone already had this clip up on Reddit. We just heard about it on the Big Bang Theory last night. It was on Saturday Night Live. It's been on Mr. Robot for a long time, of course. More and more TV shows are talking about it. More and more of the mainstream media is talking about it. It's starting to come up higher and higher on the feeds of people who aren't clicking on these topics every day. And this is just a sign of the things to come. So turning over to the market cap, I want to take a quick peek, see where we're at today. We're quickly approaching upon $500 billion, currently $0.444 trillion, $444 billion. Bitcoin dominance has been increasing once again 62%. How long until this market cap of Bitcoin is going to be 300 billion, 400 billion, a trillion? These numbers are just, how could they do anything but increase as we see so much news, so much additional money, so many additional entry points for capital to enter the blockchain ecosystem. Which token, which blockchain is everyone talking about after a year or years of the mainstream media saying Bitcoin is a fraud, Bitcoin is a scam? The blockchain technology that everybody is interested in is Bitcoin. The blockchain technology that everybody knows about is Bitcoin. And while some people are also hearing about Ethereum and are also hearing about Litecoin and Dash and some of these other projects, it's the Bitcoin blockchain project which is bringing people in to the space. And as more and more of that capital enters the space, they're going to become aware of how Bitcoin works, how they're going to become aware of how blockchain technology works. And at that point, they're going to become well aware, before that point, of all of these other projects, of all of the other potential from these different either tokens or blockchains altogether. And so anyone who's been invested into all the altcoins over the past couple months has seen their portfolios destroyed as the value of Bitcoin has hyper increased over the past couple months, leading into this, at the time, breaking news, this news about the futures that we're going to be talking about. That news only came out 4 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago or so. The CME continuously said that they weren't going to be working on it. And then when they said that they were working on it, they said it, wasn't going to be coming out anytime soon. And then all of a sudden they said it's going to be released by the end of the year. And then, that's additional attention, additional capital, and it's going to be amazing to see how much additional capital rolls into Bitcoin in 2018. We're seeing so many predictions about the price of Bitcoin reaching well past the $27,000 that was predicted, over $40,000 that's been predicted, $50,000, $100,000. And the fact of the matter is that it doesn't matter how you slice it or dice it or what words you want to use to describe the Bitcoin situation. The sky is technically not the limit because the demand of Bitcoin could be limitless, especially in a hyperbolic situation where there is extreme differences between the exchange rate of Bitcoin and the US dollar. Bitcoin could go beyond $1 million. And the cap to the total number of Bitcoins is currently only 16.7 million Bitcoins that exist. Yeah, there's only so many Bitcoins being bought and sold in the different trading platforms, in the exchanges. And this is what's putting pressure on this price. This is why everyone is predicting that this is going to be going up. And what we're not seeing is that we're not seeing the volatility some people were possibly expecting with the Bitcoin futures. And that's the reason is because if you think about who's in the Bitcoin futures game, it's not even just wealthy people that have super special accounts to get into the Bitcoin futures. And when you get into the Bitcoin futures, you have to have a significant amount of money, and that amount of money is when you're dealing with an asset that you don't understand very well, is a huge amount of risk because of the lack of knowledge. And so the people that do understand Bitcoin, they understand that it's probably a bad idea to short the market, right? And that's an understatement, that it's a bad idea to short the Bitcoin market. There's reasons that miners would want to short the market to hedge their operations. But for someone to short Bitcoin who's not actually holding Bitcoin is really risky. And so what we're seeing is that while a lot of people are willing to bet that the future price of Bitcoin is going to be very, very high, there currently aren't very many participants that want to short Bitcoin. And so in the past couple days here, Bitcoin price has fluctuated between, let's say, about $13,000 and $17,000 over here in coinmarketcap.com. So that's a lot in terms of short-term swings and the volatility. It's not a lot in terms of the big picture of things. Quick side note. I think it'd be really interesting if people start referring to Bitcoins and start looking at Bitcoins in terms of the millibit. But this is a millibit, right? So when you look at the price of Bitcoin, for those that aren't aware, the current price of Bitcoin is $16,600. And so what that means is that a millibit would be $16. And so if we start thinking about Bitcoin in terms of millibits, so if one millibit is $16, when Bitcoin hits $20,000 a Bitcoin, then we're going to replace this with a $20 bill. When it's $20,000 a Bitcoin, then one millibit is going to be worth $20. And so then if you had 5 millibits, someone could say, hey, this is worth 5 millibits, and that, say you went out to like a nice dinner, and Bitcoin was $20,000 a Bitcoin, that nice dinner might be $80. Maybe $100, and so that'd be 4 or 5 millibits, because $16,000 is a lot for one Bitcoin. And one of the aspects of Bitcoin and blockchain technology that all of the newcomers are going to have to understand, you can divide a Bitcoin into 1 million different pieces, 8 decimal places down. It's not always clear that the Bitcoin is divisible because everyone is so focused on whole Bitcoins. And as a human condition, fractions are not what human beings like to think about. But in terms of the investing, in terms of holding and HODLing the different types of blockchain technology, the different tokens that are out there, when the price per Bitcoin is over $16,000, over $10,000, over $100,000, the millibit is a denomination to think about.